All right. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. My light is bright. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Welcome to another edition of Relationship Recap on a Friday night. That light is super bright. I am Christal XO, one half of tonight's conversation, and my partner in crime. You guys know the man's name. Welcome him to the stage, Scorpio Moe.
Our smoke alarm's going off. Hold up. All right, that's it.
Okay. All right. I guess Scorpio Moe was too hot. It was too much heat. It was too much heat over there. Is that cigar making your smoke alarm go off?
I don't think so. Oh, let me turn this case.
Jeez Louise. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. How is everybody doing tonight? How are you doing tonight?
I am doing pretty good on this Friday, still on vacation. But yeah, well, yourself?
Good for you. I like that shirt. I see you.
And you see, I'm not in the pajamas today.
You are not. You are not. You know what? I was thinking that I was going to put my pajamas on, but I just ended up I didn't get in and get settled quick enough. So I was still running around up until it was time to get started. But it's been an interesting week. We talked a little bit about Love is Blind. We had a great exclusive Love is Blind recap. Before we get into tonight's conversation, anything else that you thought after, because we did our recap like immediately after it went off the air. Immediately after. Once you had a chance to sit with it for a while, did you think anything different did you have anything that you thought we might have been out of pocket with, or we might have gotten wrong from our recap of the event of the night?
Just sitting and listening to the, some of the comments, and it depends on what day you ask me about the KB and what's the name situation. Edmund. And talking to you and hearing you speak a little bit more about it, my heart kind of went out for him. And I'm just like, I don't know, but it's more to him. I'm not backtracking off of that because I was going back and forth with it, but I do think that he needs help, and I think she needs patience. For someone to be in her position, to act in the way she act, like that could cause her to get reevaluated at her job.
I would. Now, if you guys don't know who we're talking about, if you're tuning in on a Friday, we're talking about our Love is Blind recap on KB and Edmund. And afterwards, there's been a lot of social media conversation about it. I definitely would think that I would think that job would not align with going on a reality show and acting out
with him.
Right. Right. That would be, I don't know, but I mean, for me, if I was a supervisor or own the company, I would be, first of all, if I own the company and one of our social workers was going to acknowledge they were a social worker and they were going on a reality TV show, I would definitely be watching, because what employees do does reflect the company. So I would be watching. And then that behavior, I definitely would have took a bit of issue with, just because I would want to know, like, did she not see huge red flags? A lot of people agreed with me and said that, Edmund just did not have the capacity to answer all those, the bullet questions. Is like, how a machine gun just spits out bullets without having to stop and reload. And I feel like average men have a hard time with that.
I know average men that they probably wouldn't have shut down. They might have went upside the head. But I'm just saying,
we want to make sure to acknowledge that we do not condone going upside anyone's head.
I'm just saying, I know some guys that would have, but I'm not saying this right.
That's not what we are saying. That's not what we want to say.
But here's the thing. Because of her profession, did they put him in there on purpose? Because you see,
I don't think they put him on purpose because of her profession. I think they put him in on purpose because he was going to get good ratings for them.
No, but what I'm saying, like, if there were other connections with other people, because they were the only two, it was other black people there. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
The focus in, horn in on them. That's what just is like. What are the odds of someone of her professional supposed to be professional background to line up with this guy who would have normally been her
would not have even been on her radar.
No, but her patient. This would have been someone.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That's a good point. You know what? I don't put anything past production. I do think that she said in that interview with AD that she felt like she knew she could get him to pick her, and she kind of pushed the other girl out of the way. So I don't know if that was production egging her on to do that and was happy about it because it worked out how they want. I don't know, but I definitely think that could be a point. That's a good point. It makes for a salacious story. Hey, Marriott, welcome. I want to say a few people on the comments asked, why I was so hard on Sparkle Megan, who has a new man. And I don't think I was hard on him, but I do want to say, I don't think I said congratulations. We send congratulations to her and her baby, Brooks. I think he's super cute. It wasn't necessarily, for me, it wasn't necessarily about being hard on her. I was just saying, I felt like she made the decision because of what she experienced on the show. That's all I was saying. I wasn't saying it was a bad thing. I think babies are always a blessing. But I did realize that we did not stop and say, congratulations to her. I do think she'll be a good mother. I think that I think because of what she went through on the show and what she was dealing with missing her father, I think that all played into her getting pregnant after dating someone 3 months. And I did learn that she did an interview with AD also. Her man is about 10 years older than her and owns his own business. He's got the coins, as we all knew. That was very easy to tell. And he does kind of look like Mark Cuban. Are you there? He does. So anyway, I just wanted to see if we had any last minute things to wrap up with Love is Blind. Because I just felt like that reunion left us with a lot of questions. We talked about it Wednesday. It didn't give what it needed to give. A lot of questions were not asked. Some people were not there. So it's just weird. It was just weird. But I just wanted to make sure we just wrapped it up here tonight to see if there's anything else. Tina, thank you for those ages, 35 and 46, 11 years. I knew it was around 10-year age gap. And that may be.
They be on it, boy. They be on it. They know.
Yeah, but I mean, she did an interview and talked about it. But right. Marriott said she's not watching Love is Blind in US anymore. I have heard that the other countries are better, but you got to realize other countries is always, just like we talk about Ready to Love in different cities. When you go outside of the country, it's a little different. You still have the same, male, female issues, but it is a little different because the culture is very, very different.
Do they got Asian?
I think they did, actually. I know they have one that's like Brazil.
Bet you they're a little less mouthy. I bet you that.
You know what? Definitely not the spicy Brazilians, because what's her name? Allie is Brazilian. Marriott says France was nice, same dating issues. I just don't think other countries are as disrespectful as we kind of monopolize the whole disrespectful thing. I don't see other countries going as far. Like, I don't know if there's a baddies Australia, a baddies France, a baddies, even Africa. They do the rich Africans and the rich Asian, but I don't think they do like the disrespectful stuff. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm definitely gonna watch. I'm gonna watch it again. I hope there'll be some better couples. I am doing Married at First Sight. Those recaps will be on Monday. But speaking of different cities, we got another. We have another trailer here for the very exciting Ready to Love coming. I just want to play this trailer and let's talk a little bit about the ladies of Ready to Love Detroit.
Take your mark, make your mark like that. Ready, set, go. Take your mark, make your mark like that. Ready, set, go. Take your mark, make your mark like that. Ready, set, go. Ready, set, go. Ready, set, go. Take your mark.
Again. All right. Next Friday, we will be in Detroit. And we will be meeting all the ladies. I think that this season has some. First of all, I just want to say that Black women are always. There's always a huge assortment, a very, very bountiful assortment of beautiful Black women. I don't think it's difficult to find beautiful Black women in any city. I know we're sis. We sisters. We kind of have that. It's not hard. So I was looking, I was like, this is a really beautiful group of women. But I also think that that's just every season, there's always really pretty women. It's easy to find pretty women. Well, not always so easy to find attractive men.
I think when you put out those calls, it's a lot easier. I don't know if it's easy. Certain cities it's easier. Certain places it's not. I can guarantee you make that. But if you put out that call, you can pick the cattle call. You can pick out, but I'm not going to name the cities and places. But in the Detroits, the Chicago's, the DC's, New York, Miami, all the places that they go, they're not going to have
big cities. Those are big cities. So you just said city. Those are popular now. Are you suggesting that if one were to venture into the suburbs, it might not be the same?
I could pick whole states where it ain't going to be the same. But I'm not going to do that. But I can. And I lived in quite a few. Well, one in particular. But it's not going to be the same. But these cities have a high volume of Black people. Beautiful Black people. And the economy will drive pretty women there. Let
me ask you this. Are you saying that the physical features of women look different in different cities? Or are you saying that the accoutrements are different? Like, okay, these women may have, like, if you go to one city or one state, they may not be wearing as much makeup and have, wear sexy clothes. Because surely you're not suggesting that the women just look different. Maybe you're just saying that the preparation and the culture for preparation is different. Correct?
That could be a part of it. But okay. if you're in a metropolitan city, a big city, it's going to draw a different type of woman. Job wise, school, you know what I'm saying? It's going to draw a different type of energy. And then add it to what you're saying. But I just think it's going to like here in Atlanta, it's a different type of draw than it would be somewhere in Oregon or somewhere where it's just not as much. It's going to be different, man. I'm telling you.
But I don't think it has to do with the physical characteristics as much as just the way that they present it.
That might be. I wouldn't. That part I might not know, but there's a draw for those women to be in these markets. Because guys often have conversations about, especially if guys who traveled here and abroad, they'd be like, "Who has the best looking?" And I mean, there's usually 3 cities that come up, and we're talking about Black women.
Right. Well, I hope so. Right. I just think that those men have to be, because I think if you take like elementary schools, right, and you take an elementary school in Oregon and an elementary school in Atlanta, kids are kids. People look how they look. Now, once you get into the culture of it, how to do your hair, how to do this, how to dress, how the energy, I just can't imagine us saying that they're raising ugly people in certain cities. I don't want us to say that.
I'm gonna say it, but you don't have to say it. But I think some people are, just it could be, farm grown ugly people in some places. It happens. It happens. It happens. But then again, I believe what you said. Like I guess it's the grooming and how you present and keep up with certain things, so it can be.
This is a good question that Marriott raised. She says it's hard for men to look handsome if they aren't physically fit. I don't know. I'm trying to think about that. I'm trying to think, is that true? Because I think that there are some men I think that physically fit men after age 40 are slim. But I do think there's I can see a man being attractive even if he's not physically fit. Now, because I think there are cute chubby guys, and there are cute skinny guys, and I'm sorry. I was thinking about this meme. Where this girl said something that she was like looking at the person. I'm sorry. Yes, my point. I'm so sorry, y'all. I was in my head. There are cute chubby guys and there are cute skinny guys.
Well, that's kind of true on the other side.
Yeah. So now, and I will tell you one thing. Chubby men are very confident. They're a confident bunch.
Have you ever? But here's the thing. You ever notice the chubby men that are like that usually have money?
No, I don't think so. I'm thinking of some right now that they don't necessarily have a lot of money, but they're very charming, and they are like a teddy bear, like that type of thing. And I'm telling you, they're a very confident bunch, because I had a conversation with one guy and he was telling me, this is just a friend of mine from back in the day. He was like, don't act like there aren't chubby chasers out here. I think I have no problem they're coming. And I do know a lot of women that do say they like chubby guys. So I don't necessarily know if they have to be fit. In fact, I've heard women discriminate against fit men.
But let me ask you this. Does that fall in line with your medium ugly or Beauty and the Beast theory, if you're saying that?
No, because I think I'm talking about guys that have a cute face. He probably has, his hair is cute. His hair is cut cute. He could dress, and he's just a little chubby. There's I don't think that's the medium ugly. I think that there are women that do like chubby. There are chubby chasers. And there are women that like skinny men.
You don't say.
Yes. I think the demographic of our chat family could be there could be a lot of them in our family, our chat family. I think I'm just saying there are a lot of women that like skinny men or chubby men.
But do they like each other, the chubby and chubby?
I think the chubby likes the skinny. And I don't know if the skinny likes the chubby. In some cases, yes.
Know what I was told when I was younger?
In one case I'm thinking about, no.
Fat and skinny was in the bed. Fat rolled over. And skinny was dead. Now, when I was a little kid and I heard that, they used to scare me. That's why probably I'm traumatized now. I think they got something to do because
I don't know how we get here. Is that
all this stuff, man? I don't talk about this.
Is that why you discriminate?
I was told
Because
that.
you were told when you were a child?
Yes, very young age, I was told that. And I didn't want to die like that.
I'm weak. I'm weak. Stacy said I prefer a strong, solid man. If you can't carry me, it's a no. Kind of like we were talking about the other night, a sturdy man. I like a sturdy man as well, Stacy. I'm into the sturdy man also.
Here's my problem with that. Depending on where the weight is proportional. You see what I'm working with, y'all.
We too.
On how the weight is proportional. What
are you saying? Are you saying that you are able to? Well, first of all, were you suggesting that you were a solid man?
No, I'm suggesting that that depending on what the weight is and what that I might have trouble. They said he said like
she carry
carry how on my back, yeah. But when you talk about just these two arms, depends on where the weight is proportional. If you top heavy,
no, we have not missed Mo's birthday. We have not missed Mo's birthday. Who asked someone asked earlier, have we missed Mo's birthday? No, we have not. In fact, I'm thinking that we're going to celebrate it. It'll be a little past, but we're going to celebrate it in Detroit.
We got the show the day of my birthday.
I know, but I'm saying to celebrate. I'm not going to see you. We're going to be like this.
Nah, this is cool. Hey, man.
We're going to celebrate in Detroit, but you guys will be with us on the actual birthday, which is next Wednesday.
I'm not in the mood. Donald Trump don't
You are in a birthday mood. You are in a birthday mood because you have to be. It is the 4th? It's the 4th?
5th.
The 5th. My bad. I get. Is Near as the 4th?
Me and Near got the same birthday.
Damn it. I was wrong on both counts. Okay, it's the 5th. So it's November 5th. So we will be celebrating next Wednesday. But okay. Well, you know what, Mo, I don't. So any women that are expecting Mo to carry them into the home, would you carry a bride if you got married? Would you carry?
No, I would, and I have. I'm just saying, if they're top heavy, it might be a little difficult for me.
Well, you know what? Speaking of you getting married, I was thinking about you earlier because I heard some news, and I was wondering if you were okay, if you were worried about it. But I did hear something, and I thought about you, so I wanted to make sure that we shared it with our XO family, and so I just want to make sure that you're okay. And I just want to play a clip that I saw earlier and just make sure that you're in a good place because you said you weren't in a birthday mood. I think this could be something that could put you in a birthday mood.
A lot of texts, a lot of messages, stories online that I got engaged. Take a look at me with a big ring on my finger. This is up. There's a lucky man. I have no idea who he is. These generated images have been making their way to social media.
Who's Salt and Pepper right there?
That's what I said. So I'm here to say exclusively on CBS Mornings, I'm not married, not even engaged, but people have been saying, congratulations, love really happened to you. I'm so happy for
That was AI?
That isn't me. But Nate, even I looked at it and go, is that me? It says, the man who has captured her heart is no other than a prominent figure in the business world. Where is he?
I feel like I've seen that guy before.
Well, I'd like to see
the top one does.
I would like to see you, sir. Show yourself. Known for his philanthropic efforts and his low-profile lifestyle, the revelation has been a new layer of intrigue to the story. Many were curious about who this lucky partner is. He's so lucky. I haven't. Even my kids said, "Mom, who is this?" I have no idea. But I'm not married or engaged. Believe me, if it was, you'd hear it here first.
So for all you guys that are watching, go.
He said, for all these guys that are watching, Shoot your shot. And Gail said yes.
I will mess Gail's life up.
Why would you say that?
Well, she's not ready for me. I'll mess her life up. She's not ready for me.
Why would you say she would mess her life up? I actually, at first I was like, Scorpio Moe has stricken, because they were like, is Gail engaged? Is Gail engaged? And then I saw that they had an AI version. I was like, maybe Moe has been keeping something from me. He's been trying, because I really do feel like Moe would slide in her DMs. I do. I do feel like you would. You are, yeah.
15, 16 years ago, Gail, yeah. Now, Gail, nah.
I think you would slide in today. Or tomorrow.
Nah.
Or maybe on next Wednesday. But people are talking about Gail's wig. I didn't see anything wrong with Gail's wig. I mean, Gail is 70.
I did see something wrong.
I want her to have on.
I see something wrong with her wig.
You don't like her wig?
I'm more interested in what's under it, but I don't like it. But I'm more interested to know what's.
Well, I just feel like you've dated a person that had a wig that probably Gail's would have looked better than.
Yeah, but I've never seen it, so I don't know. Never quite seen it.
Never saw. Well, hey. Well, hey, just let you know, you can shoot your shot. I think for Mo's birthday, we should try to. I will try to do some digging around and just see if I can, reach out. I just think you should have a conversation with Gail. You never know.
Cameo thing. You know how you could celebrity cameo thing where they could wish somebody a happy birthday?
Oh yes, that's true. Tina Bree said there's probably braids under Gail's wig, and there probably is. What if we saw the prison braids under the Gail's wig? But that's what's under the wigs. I mean, that's what's under all of our wigs. That's why I'm so thankful. I don't have a wig anymore, but that's what was under my wig.
Braids going back to the back ain't, I don't know, boy.
But that's what you have to do to make it lay flat.
Is it plaits or braids? What's the difference?
It's braids are plaits, but it's just the way you braid it that makes it a plait. But sometimes there was a girl that used to braid my hair that would make it go in a circle, but I don't know if that's better for it to be going in a circle.
I seen a girl get in a fight. Her thing came on. She had one braid that went all the way around to the top.
That's what I used to have. Yeah. But I tell you what, it used to be flat to my head. Shouts out to Hillary's Hideaway. But when you took it off, that ain't how you want to see your fella.
In the mid.
Not.
The thing is, when you're with a woman and you're holding, you got it there, like, we feel all lumpy, then our imagination starts going on what it looks like when we feel the lumps.
Yeah, it looks like Queen Latifah and Set It Off.
That wig looked like from Set It Off.
All right, let's get into let me ask you before we start that. What would you rate the ladies from Ready to Love Detroit? Now that you saw we're gonna do the guys on Wednesday, but seeing the ladies from Ready to Love Detroit, what rating would you give just overall to the cast thus far? Just seeing the clips of the ladies right now.
A nice 7.
See, I was gonna say 8.5 or 9.
It's tough because I gotta watch it again. It went by so fast that when you sent it to me earlier, I didn't even realize this was that. I thought it was a whole new show.
No, okay, let's watch it again so Mo can get his numbers, and then we're gonna go into tonight's Belle Collective.
Take your mark, make your mark like that. Ready, set, go. Take your mark, make your mark like that. Ready, set, go. Take your mark, make your mark like that. Ready, set, go. Ready, set, go.
It's kind of tough. I'm gonna stick with what I said.
Okay. All right.
For now. But the series, when they get on there and because you know how they told us before, like, this is what they picked out. This is what, I don't think we're seeing them in their more natural state. So
that is the promo look, right? So we're gonna see them in they're more just everyday dating and doing that kind of thing. But yes, let's get into tonight's episode of Belle Collective. Mo and I talked a little bit before the show. I think tonight I really want us to discuss like the breakdown of friendship. And I think it's interesting for me to always have a guy's perspective on how women treat each other, right? Because I wonder if men look at how a woman that they're dating, how does she show up in friendships? I'm assuming the older they get and the more mature they become, they do start to pay attention to that. But this whole idea of Letitia and Latrice, and even how the other ladies are playing into it, is really interesting. But before we get into that, I feel like the show is kind of scattered this season, because we see the main storyline is Letitia and Latrice, and then we see Tambra every once in a while. But today we saw a scene with Tambra and her, I don't know if it's her boyfriend, it's her fiance, it's her daughter's father. I'm not really sure where they stand in their relationship, but that was a very interesting scene. And so I thought we would talk about that first before we kind of get into the other. Tamara, we haven't really seen a lot from her. In fact, that's the first time we actually saw her at her house this season. We don't really see a lot of her at home, period. But this season, we haven't seen her at all, outside of with Latrice at the hair salon and then at a couple of events. So let's talk about that scene where she was talking to, I don't want to call him Greedy, but that's his nickname. And seeing her baby. We haven't seen her baby girl up until now. The little girl looks like she's near 2, if not beyond 2. So let's talk about that. We see him. He came into the house. I'm not even sure if they live together. What would you think just watching that? Do you think they live together? What did you get from their relationship, their chemistry from that scene?
It was a little uncomfortable to watch, to be honest with you, because it was something that I'm sure a lot of people, I don't even want to put it on women, that resonate with. When he came in and they was explaining like his work hours, even he was like, yeah, I had to work this, I worked that. He was doing some job for some other people. He didn't have much rest. And she explained that he was tired, before he did. And I felt like, this is where you hear, and we talk about peace and men talking about no one wants to be bombarded with anything coming through the door. I mean, you're happy to see obviously your child and your lady, but you in it, and especially if she noticed that he was tired. In a minute, I wouldn't put any pressure. I wouldn't be like, put everything I got or whatever issue I got on this person at this time. Not coming through the door. Let a man take a shower, get comfortable, eat, get his mind together. If he's that busy, if not, then that day is not that time. But I just felt she was being a little pushy.
Yeah.
To me.
That's interesting when you said that, because I didn't think about that, because I feel like she was sitting there waiting for him to come through the door. She had something to say. And I don't want to call him Greedy. His name is Damon. But Letitia and Marie said they called him by his nickname, which was Greedy, which is a horrible nickname. Hey, twin. But this is the thing. This is just my opinion based on what we saw, right? I believe that Tamra got to a point in her life where she wanted to have a child. And I think a lot of women get to that point. We know that Tamra is a radio personality. She's very successful in that field. She's been doing that for a long time there. She's very well known in the area. She's been on radio for a long time, right? And she even hosts like a lot of events in other cities, right? So she's established. Her career was established. I think when we first saw this storyline happen 3 seasons ago, where she wanted to have a baby, she was with another gentleman. That didn't work out, and she got with Damon. They know each other from years ago. They had history years ago. They reconnected, but I think she was at baby making stage. Like, I want to just find the guy and have my child, because a lot of women feel like that's a big part of their identity as a woman. They still want to have a child, even if they put their career first. So she seemed super in love until she had the child. Then once she had the child, it seems like the differences that probably were always there have become more amplified and just more noticeable, right? So I feel like watching tonight, and even before, we don't see them. They're not a couple that is presented on the show anymore. After they went through the fertility process, and first they were all excited about having a baby and getting married and being together. Then he kind of went ghost. We heard that they weren't really together. That is all the chatter that's been around, that they're not really a couple. So when he walks in tonight, first of all, we haven't seen her much at all this season, and we don't hear anyone really talking about her. We just see her adding on to different conversations. So to see him walk into the house with her and the baby was kind of a shock to me, because I was just like, we haven't even seen, for a long time, she didn't want the baby on TV, and I don't know if they're actually together. What I got from that scene is that she's been thinking about some things, and the production is probably putting pressure on her to be transparent with her life. But I think that she has what she wants, which was the baby. And I think she's realized that her and the guy don't have very much in common. Her pointing out that she had a bank account for her baby before the baby was born, I think that is just a female trait. I think even, you guys know I'm a big animal person. Even in the animal kingdom, the mother, the female, will start to nest when she's thinking about when she goes through the cycle. Women's bodies are prepared to have the baby. You start thinking about the baby. There's this thing called nesting that humans and animals do. When a woman is pregnant, she's looking around. She wants to find stability. She wants to know how she's going to provide a stable environment for that child. And I think in the animal kingdom, you see the woman, she wants the man that's the male that can provide the protection, because her focus is on the child. It's not the same as the male. The male is focused on getting the woman, not necessarily on preparing and making plans for the child. And I'm not saying that the man should not be doing that, but I'm just saying it's not usually in a man's nature to be putting together things. Usually it's the woman looking at the future and saying, I'm going to get a bank account, get all these things, and the man contributes to it. But his thought is usually just making sure, is she good? Is the woman good, right? Is the child's mother good? Now, if they're not in a good place, that changes the dynamic even more. So when she said, where is the money going? And he said, the money is going right here to the daughter. I think that's their perspective from two different ways. She's looking like the daughter's future. I want money for her today, tomorrow, and the next day. And he's looking at, what does she need now? If you notice, she said, well, what about the money? And he said, have you all ever went without? He's focused on the present day. He's got a job that's a little bit it doesn't seem as stable as hers, because he's doing two jobs, working a lot of hours. He's focused on today. She's focused on tomorrow. And I think that just said to me that they're not on the same page as a couple.
Yeah. I understand both sides, but like I said earlier, the timing of the conversation. Because if I'm getting off work and you're having that conversation with me, at that point, I'm feeling like I'm not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Literally just getting off of the very same thing that you want me to make money to put us in this position. And
right.
It's timing is everything. Like, that's the conversation away from it on my day off, where I don't have pressures of work. And a lot of times, if you're just trying to get through the day, it's hard to think about You know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she knew what position he was in. He probably got the second job because of that.
Right. Let me ask you, how would you, so if she had it, I agree. Once you said it, I was like, yeah, that does make sense. Nobody wants to have that type of conversation after they just got off work and just walked in the door. But I also understand a woman's point of, you're looking for an opportunity to talk to him. We don't know if there is a lot of time for them to talk. So maybe she's like, I got questions to ask. I'm going to ask as soon as I get it, as soon as I see you. But let me ask you this. If she waited until his day off and they went someplace to talk, what is the correct way to have, because it sounds like she does not feel safe or secure about him being able to financially provide for at least the daughter. Definitely probably not her as well. But what do you think? Do you think that she came with the right words, or do you think her approach was off? Because I noticed that he said, if any of you guys, have you guys ever wanted for anything? And she said, oh, I'm not going to want for anything. Neither of us are. Now that is saying, I got us. So I'm just, I'm good. We're straight. We're never going to do without. But what are you going to do? To me, that's what that said.
Yeah, but right then and there, even with you just saying that, it seems like separation. I got me and the baby. I ain't never going to do without. I didn't get us. I got her and the baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So at that point, it's already a shift when the child comes in. The man gets moved down the peg and the child comes up. And okay, that's fine.
That's fair, yeah.
That's fine. But don't alienate me. And at this point, I'm just here to do this. And the loving of the man, just that part just feels missing. And a lot of guys feel empty and feel like, oh, now I'm just, you just become a paymaster to everything else. It's not about what it was before. So being older, you understand the shift, right? Okay, fine. But away from the house, away from, we out to dinner, it's the day off, and we're having this conversation, not interrupting me while I'm trying to watch the game on a Saturday or whatever it is. When we're not doing nothing, there's nothing planned. And I would suggest to get away from the house.
I think that's a good suggestion. I don't believe in having, like, sometimes, and I would say this, I don't know if you'll agree with me, but I would say, even though the daughter is too young to understand, I just feel like having that conversation in front of the baby puts in a bad place too.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. I agree with that as well. But just come to the man that I think, starting off with you appreciating what he's done thus far.
What if she doesn't appreciate what he's done thus far?
Well, hopefully she's not saying that. But I think when you have one of these conversations where it could possibly let the air out the relationship, you build it up. You come in and you like, listen, I see what you're doing, so on and so forth. But now, it's just time for us to step things up.
Mm-hmm.
Make the man feel alone. I'm saying, don't dump it all on him. Even though it might be just him, but make it feel like it's a team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now I just think, I see what you're doing, so on and so forth. You picked up extra work. I'm feeling it. I'm digging it. Now it's time for us to take it to another level.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just say, make it more of a team effort, even though you might be straight or whatever, but he doesn't want to feel alone. And a lot of men do in this situation. This is where you get, see how he came in or whatever. This is where you get the guy who stops by the bar and have a drink before he comes home, or sits in the parking lot in the driveway for 20, 30 minutes before he comes in the house to gather himself, So that's just,
he's talking to another woman. And that's
that's the next level. First you do that, and then when that don't work, you can't clear your mind, or if you already talked to her, then it could become what you just said.
Hey, you there says, so Mo is saying that fathers can leave work and have absolutely no responsibilities to anyone after they clock out, but the mom does.
Well, at some point, when y'all watch this on the y'all can play back, and that's not what I said. So I don't know where you.
So no, I guess what she's suggesting is that if a mom is home, like, and I do know that from being on both sides. When I was married, I remember initially to my children's father, I remember when I would be at home because I had to stay home because my son was sick for a while. I would be at home all day or just with him, even if he and I went to the park and did all that. And then when my ex-husband would come home, he would not want to talk right then, right? But when I would be gone, and then when I would come home, because I worked after I went back to work, I worked initially, took some time off with the kids, and then went back to work. Nobody really cares about the mom needing a moment, because when she hits the door, mom, mommy, it's not, women don't really get that cushion. And then also, when you're married, a man doesn't say, well, your mama just got home. In fact, he says, when your mama gets home, ask your mom, when your mama gets home, she's going to fix dinner. When your mama gets home. So I just, I do think it's important for us to say, women, we don't ever, like, make him feel like he's not alone. Do men feel the same type of concern for women? Because it feels like men, even if a woman does work, he expects her to be at always accessible and available. When I call, pick up. When you come in the door, I need food. My kids would actually call me on the phone and be like, Mom, when are you coming home? We're hungry. And I would say, your father is there in the house. And they would say, no, Mom. But when are you coming home? Like, I remember my son being like, no, but Mom, when are you coming home? So when I would come home, and this is after being an entertainment publicist, working with people like yourself, I would get to the house and no, there was no concern for Christal when I got home. It was just, and I don't think women are even taught to even ask for that. When I get in the house, Mom, food, homework, da. Meanwhile, Dad is downstairs drinking beers.
Right. Now that's a fair statement. So first I would say, unfortunately, you are the nurturers. We're the protectors and the providers, supposedly, right?
Supposedly.
So guys feel like, and I'm not saying this right, long as he's protecting and providing, he's done. And once again, I know somebody's going to twist this, but I'm not saying that. The kids tend to feel more comfort in the mother because of her tone of her voice. Just her attention, like dad voices, is strict. Is by, they know daddy don't play. That's why when father, they be like, I'm gonna tell your daddy, and kids, most kids tend to straighten up because that's our position in the household. But when they want loving and caring and somebody's going to coddle them and baby them, it's the mother. So they can't wait for her to come through the door.
Nobody can. The daddy wants to come through so he can get it.
Right. And I'm not, so I would apply the same thing for the woman to go outside and be like, yo, I need,
Give me a minute.
2 jobs like he was, because I thought that's what we were talking about. Then, he comes in, he didn't ignore anybody. He came in straight in, spoke to his daughter, he was with her. He wasn't being mean.
He wasn't being mean. He gave her a hug, but I'm just saying, I just wonder, do we give everybody the same, especially
we honestly should. And I'm a big advocate for I've heard a popular DJ here say a few years ago that, and I know it's never gonna happen, but once the mother has the child, because she's been bonding 9 months before the man's been there. You know what I'm saying? They have another connection.
Yeah.
This DJ was talking about giving let the father have, but she just had this baby and she has this attachment.
That's not realistic. I don't think, because the baby, hell, she probably breastfeeding. A lot of women are breastfeeding. You can't do that.
This is what I'm saying. Hell, I used to have a fake thing that made this shit was crazy. But
what?
Nothing. But
no, we got what?
used to have like the fake breastfeeding thing for the child.
Did the baby like it?
I don't know if it really worked. I think they wanted to smell flesh or something. I don't know. It was the fake thing you put over
To comfort them?
to make it simulate the mother had breast milk in it.
Wow, I did not know that existed. Wow.
Yeah, it had the woman's breast milk in it. After they pumped it, you put in the joint, and then you pour it in here. And your man has it, and then the child. It's not important.
You had that with your daughter?
Yes,
Really? Did she nurse from it?
a little bit. My son had it too.
Really? I did not know that. I wish I had that. Joda, I agree with you. She said that reminds me of the episode on the Cosbys when Claire was exhausted from a case and she came home and tried to crash on the couch, but the kids and the husband would not leave her be. I remember that episode, and that's true. But
Fair.
yeah, but back to Damon and Tamra. I was wondering if I did not expect Mo to have a breast simulator. I did not expect that. You are full of surprises. Look at you. Sensitive man up underneath all that other stuff. But I was just wondering, how could she say that? How would she say that in a way that would make him not feel defensive? You know?
Yeah, just away from my house and make it about us, and vice versa in the situation. We are supposed to all be a team. You know, a lot of times the guy feels alienated away from the family. I'm like the women feels away if the guy puts the children all on. None of this is easy, man.
Yeah, it isn't. I just wonder, do you guys think that they're actually in a relationship? They just did it feel? It didn't feel like to me that they were really in a real loving relationship.
It didn't either to me.
It felt like she is kind of checked out, and she's probably for the sake of the show not wanting to look like a single mother. You know, I just didn't feel like it really was a real relationship. That there was love there, because they didn't come off anything like they did when we first were introduced to him. But I will tell you one thing, that is his daughter. That baby took his whole face. He could never say, that man could never say that that's not his daughter. That baby took his whole face. She is going to be a daddy's girl. You see how she took off his hat and his glasses, and she's going to be a daddy's girl.
I've seen some women feel a way about that when the child does only go to the daddy and wants to be around. It's like, come on, man.
I hope that's not popular. I know there's a lot of daddy's girls. I mean, my daughter was definitely one, and you know, I think that happens a lot. And then just like, you know, sons are often in love with their moms. I think that's the daughter's first. Like the Denzel said, the mother's first love is the son, and dad's and the daughter. So that makes sense. But I just wanted to see what you guys thought about that scene. That's a good point, Nola. She says that she may still have postpartum depression. She absolutely could, you know, especially when a lot of times when women, I think, and I've heard a few professionals say this, when a woman does not really stop to have time to really, she has to go right back to work. And that can be very difficult emotionally, and with your hormones and all that can be very overwhelming. And one of the things that I did notice, and I did have grace for Tamara, because she said that she didn't want her baby to go to daycare yet. So that means that she is finding probably family to keep the baby when she does have to work. Hopefully Damon and her are able to do that, but it sounds like he works a lot. But I think she definitely is throwing herself right back into work because she's been very busy. I see her doing stuff all the time. So with her doing all that, but not sending the baby to daycare, that means that she's under a lot of pressure.
Do you know certain jobs, my job has it, where they give the man the same amount of paternity time as the woman?
I do know that. And I think that's a great thing now.
I mean, it took a long time coming, but yeah, they finally.
Yeah, very long time. Yeah.
So that'll help. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And I do feel like, because I remember I have a family member that they had a baby last year. The baby just turned 1. And the father was really excited to stay home to bond with the newborn. And I think that's really, it was encouraging to see a father want to do that and be looking forward to that. And I think, I would say, I think we see a lot of men really stepping up and being great fathers. And I think that's not been really promoted in our culture, especially in the Black community. But I do see a lot of that. I see men that are really excited about fatherhood and really step up and appreciate that time off work, really, really excited about it. So that's really encouraging. And I think we do need to speak to that. I'm not saying it's better, but I am saying that the narrative is, as we heard some people say, that Black men don't stay with their families. And that's not true. There are a lot of amazing Black fathers that, are really serious and really excited about fatherhood. So I think we have to acknowledge that. Even, I don't know what's going on with Damon and Tambra, but he definitely looks very much excited about his daughter, and in love with his daughter. So
there's a lot of men are. And sidebar, for anyone that would like to do a paternity thing with me, and I'll pay you a couple $, you pretend I can get 6 weeks off and kick you back some money. We could
Mo, I would like to strike that from the record.
You just say you are, and I tell them, hey man, listen, I'm trying to come up, man.
But why would you want to use something so precious and important to scam your job?
Well, you have to say that word out there, but say that word. And we gotta get somebody that's already done, like I'm already done. I'm just saying, man.
Don't you have to have proof of the pregnancy, Mo?
Oh, you can go online. You'll be surprised what you get on.
I would like to move forward. With the show. So moving on to Carrie's attempt to bring the ladies together and to create a safe space for Latrice and Letitia to have a conversation. First of all, I want to say Carrie to me does not really fit this show.
She does.
I just don't feel like I like her very much. I think that she would be great on like the Housewives type of show.
That part.
I don't feel like she fits these ladies here. It just isn't giving the same. Her and her husband just don't fit with the cast, in my opinion. I like her and I like her suggestions, but it doesn't flow. It doesn't flow at all. And for her to come in, not as a, I guess they're all principal characters in a way, but she's the new person. And if you notice, it seems to switch to where she's almost the principal character of the show.
Yeah, she needs to be on the Potomac show.
Yeah, she would look like she fits that type of show, because her and her husband, first of all, there's a economic gap to me, a socioeconomic disconnect there. With them owning several restaurants and him being a sports agent. It's just a huge disconnect, I feel, that it looks like. And then she's just different, but hey, we're going to rock with it. I do like her. But I also feel like I understand production wanted them to create this opportunity, but I think that's very unrealistic. Once somebody does something like what Latrice did to Letitia, I don't think you put them in the same room and you don't try to make them talk. Like
that is, and a bunk bed.
The bunk bed, that is crazy. And they are not even Aikisha and Willie, because I feel like Aikisha fit the show more than she probably thought she did. But this Carrie doesn't. They definitely tried to position her as Aikisha and Willie, but it's still beyond to me. And she doesn't even really live there. Like she's in Biloxi. Like they obviously have a lot going on in another area. But the bunk beds, it's funny because those homes that are Airbnb, they're usually people's summer homes or their lake house or something. They usually do have rooms with bunk beds because they are for the children.
Absolutely.
Go on a family vacation and you have your children. I remember a friend of mine and I go to St. Simon and we stay in a house like that. And there's bunk beds in one room. The other rooms have, individual beds. But it's just funny that they would do that. But it's just not realistic to put two women in a room with a bunk bed. That's just, especially two women that don't like each other.
Yeah. Production.
Yeah, production. So we know that. But let's talk about the breakdown. I will say, I'm gonna go on the record by saying Letitia needs she does. You guys asked a few weeks ago, does she have friends? Does she have sister? She needs something because I just feel like she's way too nice. And she comes off a little bit as a pushover to me. Like she doesn't really stand up for herself. Like she talks all this, but then when she gets in front of Latrice, she doesn't really stand up for herself, And I think that Christal, you keep taking up for LPE. Are you saying not Letitia Pearson Enterprise? Hilarious. I don't think that she takes up for herself and she doesn't say anything when she's in the person's face. Even when Amanda was talking, that's not the energy that somebody else would have had. If you're at an event, and you guys know I'm not a fighter, but if I'm someplace and somebody says that they are attracted to my husband and my husband is DMing them, we're not having a friendly conversation. That's wild. And she just really doesn't. Well, I need to know. And can you tell me, can we talk? Because it's always been good for us. No, she's not your friend. She don't like you. Why are you being nice?
She's non-confrontational, but it seems like the more she starts talking, she gets and she starts hearing herself. But I don't know if it's that or if it's the hecklers or the people out. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then she's getting more and more, like they say, hyped up. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she got hyped up at the table, but the energy wasn't towards Latrice. It was just for the table.
Because she'll say something like she did in the Sprinter. She won't say it to the person. She'll just say it out loud.
That's my point. I just feel like that's silly. That's silly because she was like, people, and to Latrice's point, they had that situation happen. I guess for what it seems like the time period is a couple of weeks ago. You still sleeping in the bed with the son because she said, I'm sleeping with Josh. That's my safe place right now. Ma'am, kick Glenn out. Glenn should not even be there. Why are y'all cool right now? Am I crazy?
Yeah, I mean, you got a point.
Because you can't be mad. You really, really, honestly can't be mad at Latrice and Amanda without being, first of all, mad at the person that you sleep with. And if he's still at the house and you are the one that has moved into the child's room, you obviously haven't stood up to him. So don't stand up to me.
Well, Latrice said, what did she say at the table?
She said, don't act. She said, well, y'all people playing in my face. And she said, well, don't say I'm playing in your face if you're not saying your husband is playing in your face. And that was the realest line of the night.
That part.
Because you don't really have no smoke for him. How do you have no smoke for Glenn? And I know she does. She just doesn't know what to do. And she's too afraid to leave or too hurt to leave. But at some point, if you are not going to be mad at your man and you're not going to hold him accountable, and holding him accountable is not crying all the time. It's showing action. I'm not going to sleep with my son. You get out. You go.
It's the son. She doesn't want, that whole dynamic with the kid, the babies,
But this has continued. This is continued infractions, right? So at a certain point, because can I tell you something? It's not doing your child any good to see you sleeping in the bed with him. How crazy is that? Well, my mom's been sleeping with me for the last 2 weeks. I guess she's mad at dad.
A good point.
That's crazy. I can see, because I thought we talked about that the first night she said it. She said she went and slept with her son. I didn't know she was going to stay in there. He probably wants his room back. what if you want your mom all of a sudden started sleeping? And I'm not, little boys love their moms. I'm sure my son would have been fine if I came and slept in his bed after I was going through a hard time.
Let me tell you something. He looks like a snorer. I'm pretty sure he wants it back.
I hate you. Mo said, because she said, I was sleeping here with Marie. I don't care if she snores.
He definitely looked like a snorer.
Well, she got the nose thing done, so I don't know how that works with the nose done. What if you're a snorer, but you got your nose done like that?
At their mouth.
I'm like, the nose is going to keep her from being able to inhale properly at night. Yikes. She does. Tatasha in the desert is right. Letitia does look like she's about to cry every other sentence. And she probably is.
Yeah.
But the problem is the person that's making you cry is at the house. He gave Latrice the ammunition to shoot you. He gave Amanda the ammunition. And Latrice, I would say this about, I do feel like she broke girl code. It wasn't cool. Even if production asked her to do it, she still could have said something to Letitia, right? She could have pulled her to the side and just told her something. But for her to say, I know Amanda is not a malicious person. What?
But see, this is where it becomes tricky to me, because I don't know if she was friends with Amanda first or whatever the situation is. Are you loyal to the first person that comes to you with the information and you don't say nothing because she showed you first? Or let's just say if she knew something, but Amanda never swore to any type of secrecy or whatever, and then homegirl came to her and asked her about, do you know my husband are doing anything? Now she's loyal to, is it because once the first person comes to you, you're like, that's where it becomes tricky. I don't know if anybody's understanding what I'm saying, but
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. I guess for me, the only thing, because you're right, if I was friends with someone, with two women, I would also not be cool with a woman that was saying that they felt like my friend's husband was cute, and she was talking about, like, the way she was saying, well, look at her and look at me. I would have to check that friend. Like, nah, you can't, girl, because friend, you're putting me in a bad situation because you're trying to holler at my friend's husband. Like, come on, that's not cool. So I would not be in that situation. But I think for me, why it should not be difficult is because you're on television, right? The cameras are there. Cameras are there while you guys are laughing and saying, look at her and look at me. The cameras are there while Amanda is showing text messages from Glenn. Cameras are there. So if cameras are there, I sure as hell can pull her to the side and be like, look, we got to play this for the production wants me to do this. But the fact that you're letting it be filmed,
because it's good,
blindside her with that on film. And I know, thank you, Karen Shields, for that super sticker. I know that people are saying Letitia did some stuff she basically set Tambra up with Greedy.
Whoa.
She did. She did.
Hey, y'all ain't say that. Okay.
Yeah, they've been saying it. They've been saying it. But that also doesn't really have nothing to do with Letitia and Latrice. It's like this. If I have a friend, right, and I see that friend do something dirty to somebody else, that ain't really got nothing to do with it. That don't mean that I now decide I'm going to do something dirty to her. That won't work. That dog won't hunt. So the fact that Letitia did something to somebody else, her and Latrice did get into it at the reunion, but I still think somebody's husband and embarrassing and humiliating them like that is taking it to another level. And Latrice keeps doubling down on the fact that she didn't know what the questions were, but that was her staff. That was her staff. So you got to take that.
You got to take the hit for that. She do.
That's crazy, because she knew the situation and then she allowed it to happen. And even you can see in her face, she feels guilty. Marriott says Letitia tried to hold on. What is happening? Letitia tried to set up Willie with the DM last season. Letitia has done so much mess on this show. Well, in that case, it could be. No, it's not. I'm not watching a brand new show. I'm not watching a brand new show, but I think honestly, and Letitia has been messy, but they're all messy. Don't act like Latrice ain't messy too. They're all messy, and Marie is hella messy. Like they're all messy, but I feel like because we see Letitia, and I guess you know what, to you guys' point, if you're gonna be messy, then you gotta expect messy back. That is true.
But Latrice got her own issues going on. I can see it slowly bubbling underneath the surface between her and her man.
Let's talk about that. What did you think about that scene with her and Cliff? And what was that food that he had production prepare for them?
I don't know, but whatever he got it and put it in the new plate like he cooked it and prepared it. I know what he up to. I know what's going on.
Tell us your thoughts on our dear friend Cliff.
You see how when she came in and she was surprised, like he don't normally do stuff like this. And just now, it could be said that I'll just put it like this. When I was in my sneaky ways, after I got finished doing something I probably shouldn't have been, I shouldn't have been doing. I would be awfully nice after. Call it karma, call it just the energy of my
call it guilt. Should we call it guilt?
My guilt spirit will allow me to be like, hey, I'm headed that way. You want anything on the way or a surprise? I've all kind of wild stuff that I used back in the day.
Not in day, but back in the day. So are you saying that when Latrice walked in and Cliff said, I got a surprise for you in the kitchen?
That's the giveaway. That I got a surprise for you. It wasn't even like no surprise. It wasn't like an outfit in the Louis Vuitton box. It was just food. When it's usually food, that means that's why I stopped on the way coming back home.
And I stopped and I felt guilty because of what I had been doing. And I said to myself, I shouldn't be doing her like this. This is ridiculous. You want something to eat?
but the fact that it's food, it wasn't like it was a gourmet, like a surprise, like you had a chef in there. And
it looked like a burrito or something.
I'm saying that looked like takeout to me.
It definitely like takeout. We know that Cliff does not find himself anywhere near the kitchen. Maybe a barbecue grill. Maybe not even that. But sides, Cliff ain't making no sides. But yeah, I definitely let me give her a hot meal. Were you with that comedy show when that older man that guy kept saying, you know how when a man is old and he trying to sneak around with a young girl, be like, come on, girl, let me get you a hot meal.
All men, the older dudes always want to.
It's a hot meal. Let me get you a hot meal.
What he's really trying to say is, look, man, as long as you got food in your stomach, a roof over your head, and your car, so these are the things he wants to introduce her to where he feels this is what matters. Let me get you a hot meal. Hey, that line is going to go well over in these next 30 days. Trust me.
Well, thankfully, I believe there's some relief coming with our government. You guys, this is ridiculous. This is where we are in a crazy country. But I believe there's relief coming. The first is tomorrow. But there's relief coming. But no, I do think Cliff is sneaky. And I feel like Latrice already knows that he's cheating. And I feel like when she started the conversation, she's like, never mind, we're good. I think she don't want to go into it because she already knows. I also see something in her eyes that seems like hurt and resigned hurt. Like, I know this is going on. This ain't right, but I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I think the second thought of it, we're good. She started thinking about all the stuff that might get taken away. So she'd be like, you know what? It ain't worth it.
Yeah, she said, I will admit this. When Cliff confronted her about why she was walking around the house in a ball gown, I did think that was hilarious. Because I was wondering, did she come back from someplace? What's happening? And he's never dressed up ever, so they just look like they belong in two different places. And then Latrice says, I'm in my soft girl era. I'm trying to be like a rich housewife. And he says, you are a rich housewife. Let me ask y'all something. Cliff constantly suggests that Latrice benefits from his money a lot more than she does. She tries to act like she's this entrepreneurial queen with goddess lengths and she's making all this money and all this stuff. But Cliff always seems to, suggest that it's not necessary, that his money is more, just like it is, that she's a housewife. I think there's something to that.
What? Maybe he funded her stuff.
She said he didn't, but I don't believe that. And I will say this. I've not been to her location because when we went down there, we couldn't go to it. And when I went down there the second time, I did go into the restaurant. The restaurant does exist and it is open all the time, right? And they said that's where her place was, across the street. It was very small, nothing wrong with that. But I didn't see, there was no activity going on there. Like, it didn't look like a beauty supply that was really up and booming. So I just don't know that she has a lot of work to do. I think she likes to appear that way, but I don't know if it's really that way.
Okay.
I'm just saying. And I think Latrice is very smart. I think she's very calculating, but I just don't know. I don't know that she's really this hardcore businesswoman at this point that she tries to present herself to be, because he constantly says little things. And Cliff, he is a liar and he is sneaky, but I don't think he would be just saying that for no reason. I think he really is. I think that's why he is so sneaky, because he feels like he can do stuff because he's paid her way.
A lot of men think that way. Hell, didn't we hear Gabrielle Union say, well, since she was making it, paying all the bills, she felt the need to cheat?
She did. Gabrielle Union in her first marriage, which is crazy because at that point she was married to a football player. But she said she had the money, he didn't, and she felt like that gave her a right to cheat. Now, I don't think that we need to put any stock or rest our laurels on anything that Gabrielle Union is saying. I don't think that she's someone that we look to for wisdom. At least I don't. But she did say that. But I'm just saying, I think that Cliff doesn't respect Latrice because, and I don't think it's because of, I think it's because he pays everything and he knows that she's faking with this stuff. Yeah, I don't think. Now, Hey You There said she was selling her hair from the trunk in the Target Park. That's not bad. You can make money doing that. But I think she's a hustler. I think Latrice is a hustler. And I think her hustle was the hair. And I think her hustle was getting Cliff. I think once she got the rich man and they have this beautiful home and he's very well off, I think that was the hustle,
It's all the hustle now. She driving G-Wagon. Yeah, she doing it.
Yeah, and I think she does have the goddess lens, but I don't think it's doing exactly what she tries to make it seem like it's doing on the show. Hell, nobody is doing what they try to make it seem like on the show besides Carrie. Because Marie, Letitia Pearson, the Enterprise. Letitia has a bail bonding company, and we know that she definitely does have that.
And the methadone clinic, right?
No, that's Marie.
Oh, Marie, pardon.
Marie has the methadone clinic, and then Letitia does the brunches. I don't know what the Enterprise is, Joda. I do not know. And I also felt like Enterprise. Anyway, okay. It's a very, very, very ambiguous word. Glenn's box trucks obviously did not work out. And you guys remember last season, I know y'all ain't gonna remember who said it, but people got on here and got so mad at us because we said that we did not believe Glenn's trucks were making money. And then Glenn went on Carlos King's show and said that he was making money. So then everybody else was like, oh, see you guys, Glenn's making money. And then this season, Glenn is doing something totally different. And it is a year. So the business rose and fell within a year, or were we right the whole time? And yes, hey, you there, I always have believed that enterprise should be a plural word. I tried to suggest that the first season. When I saw the sign, I was like, that sign is wrong. But it's in Jackson. That's how she wanted to present it. But yes, there were many people who were upset and were defending Glenn's box truck business, saying that Glenn knew money. Now, Glenn did make a statement last week with the real paper. And if you don't know now, you know. So maybe he did have on, in case you didn't know. I don't know if that came from the box trucks or if it came from the new business that he's back doing.
Do they pay men on these shows?
What?
Do they pay the men on these shows?
They get paid, I guess. Yes, look, yeah, Glenn does get a check because he's actually a principal character. The couples are. Okay. But I'm sure the women get more, but he gets a couple of dollars.
At least they pay him because they don't pay him on some of these shows.
Yeah, he's getting a couple of dollars. Hey, you there, says the AliExpress Boosie. A lot of people have said that he looks like Boosie. Little archive, I know. It you gotta love us, Marriott. You gotta love us. But yeah, I feel like I do want to say about the Letitia situation. Letitia is really not sure who she wants to be mad at. She can't really, because you can't really be mad at the women to that extent when you still know you don't know everything and you still got your husband at home. So she's asking Latrice, has she ever seen Glenn do something inappropriate? Now, Latrice hasn't told her that Amanda showed her other text messages that were recent. You guys remember that? She showed her more recent text messages. So I'm interested to see if Latrice is going to share that or if she's going to keep that. I have no problem with her not sharing it if it wasn't on film.
That's what I'm saying. Even if it wasn't at this point, yeah, it's halfway out there, man. You might as well finish it off and figure out what y'all going to be, friends or whatever the situation is. You can't half step at this point.
Mm-mm. And the friend, I don't think her friend Amanda gives a damn.
That's the trippy part to me. It's like, you know what? Even if you did tell it, hell, they were telling on themselves. So what's the point of not telling it?
She wants to tell. Amanda wants to share the information. When she said, "Look at his wife," she said, "I'll entertain Glenn because he's the time of our life. He's medium ugly and he got a few coins to spare." That let us know that she's with the shits. She's with the shits. She's okay with it. She's okay with it. She put it out there. Anybody bold enough to sit up in somebody's house and say that they're attracted to somebody else's husband, I would not have her back when it came down to it. And she ain't a principal Belle. So at this point, Latrice looks crazy having her back on camera to me.
That's true. But you know the first thing she's going to say is, "You're not a girl's girl. I told you first, so your obligation is to me." You know how they play them games.
Well, she's not a girl's girl because you sit up talking about sleeping with somebody's man. And you know that that's a woman that I work with and that we're supposed to be friends, at least friends on television. So you put me in a crazy position. But she didn't even put her in that because they were laughing about it. Latrice, they just, it's just silly. But I'm interested to see if she's going to tell Letitia that, or if Letitia had to wait to see it when it played out this season.
I hope she tells her. I do.
What do you think? You think she's going to? What do y'all think? Do y'all think that because it was to be continued, Amanda is a lesbian? Amanda has nothing to lose. She's playing around. She don't want Glenn. She just wants a couple of dollars and just to play. That's her whole husband.
Well, we know it really is a girl's girl. That's
But up chain.
yeah. I think I don't know what she's gonna do. I hope she tells her.
Joda says, if I were Latrice, I keep my mouth shut about the recent messages. Miss Enterprise is not leaving that man at this point. Let the discount Boosie cheat in peace. Y'all know that Toni Braxton's mother said that statement, let him cheat in peace. That was a crazy statement.
Because, hey, are you still getting done what you need to get done?
Well, I don't think Letitia, I don't feel like Glenn is a great provider. He seems like one of them kind of men that would keep his check for himself. Because if he was, why is she running around bonding people out of jail and doing all this stuff? I don't think that she'd be doing all that if her husband. I'm gonna tell you something. You can tell the difference in the ladies' trip planned by a woman whose husband is providing, and she's also working. But that anytime you got she had a really nice house, she got swag with her face all over the merch. That's because her husband brings home a nice check.
So okay.
That's why her situation is totally different.
In a situation like that, like the woman you're just describing now,
Mm-hmm.
what does a provider mean in her situation?
Well, I think this is what I think a provider means in a situation where a woman brings money home. That means that woman, and I'll say that because I feel like I'm in that situation, right? I have a husband that provides, but yet I still work because I choose to, right? But I know, and my husband has told me, if I want to take a break, if I want to focus on something else, I can do that because he has it. So did you remember that scene where Carrie's husband is encouraging her to not work so much, stop micromanaging everybody? Because there's a confidence that you can work when you don't have to, when you're not also trying to survive. That's the difference. When a woman is not trying to survive, she's working because she can, but she's not scratching and surviving. That's the difference. To me, Letitia looks like she's scratching and surviving. Latrice does not. Latrice is really sitting around, walking around in a ball gown because Cliff is really providing. Now, she may play with the hair, she may do this and that, but at the end of the day, Cliff is handling it. Carrie has the restaurants, she's doing that, but she's not scratching and surviving. She's doing this because she wants to be that girl, but you see how different her stuff was because she can rest and know that somebody got her. I think that's the difference.
If he wasn't there, she'll be scratching and surviving.
I think if he wasn't there, she would be more in survival mode, because even though she has successful businesses, if you're by yourself and you have children, you are going to be in survival mode. You're not going to, there's that, even when you don't have children, I would say as a woman, I know from being a married woman and then being a man, when I first came from being married to being single, it was a reality check because I had to go into survival mode. After, because you met me when I was still married, I was a very different Christal then than after I went through the divorce, and I was scratching and surviving because there was nobody to have my back. My business initially was part-time. I wasn't making very much money at all initially because I was just, in fact, the lady I went to work with that you guys were with initially, I went to her and was interning because I wanted to learn the lay of the land. I had the ability to do that, right? And then I would work part-time hours. I wasn't working 24 hours like I started after I was on my own. So I remember I can remember something that stands out to me is I remember when I was married the first time. I was married for 13 years. I never paid attention. I would go to the gas pump. I remember I had a Lincoln LS that I loved. I would fill it up. I never paid attention to what the number said because I knew it was going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I never paid attention. to how much. So when gas went up and down, I'd just be filling up. I never paid, but man, after the divorce, oh my God, gas has went up to $3.69 a gallon. And I'm scratching and surviving.
I like this. I like this. It sounds like the provider is the how they say the provider is the prize. Sound like it to me.
I don't think that's true.
I mean,
I think both sides can be a prize, because I feel like, I will say this. I think that discounts the family. In my opinion, we can disagree. It's okay. I know that my ex-husband, right, compared to some other ex-husbands, because I know a lot of ex-husbands or ex-baby daddies or whatever, he had a woman that, even when he was gone, took care of his children and raised them in a way that he would be proud of. So I think that both are the prize. If you have a good woman that takes care of your home, that loves you, that raises your children with respect and integrity, you have a prize. Money is not the only indicator of value. Mm-hmm. So I know I can say that with my chest out. I may not, my businesses actually did well, but what I'm most proud of, and what my ex can never say, is that I did not do a great job taking care of our children, right? Where there's a lot of men that after they leave, they're mad, the kids aren't getting what they want. So I wouldn't say that one is the prize just because he makes the money. I also think men that really know, really value a woman that takes care of their children in a way that they want them taken care of.
And the home. Not just the children, the home, the whole home.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, once you leave, the home is not your priority, it's not your business, but the children are. And I know a lot of men who really don't like the way their children were raised.
Now that's a fact. That's a real fact.
So I think that's the quality of the woman that you get, right? And it's the quality of the man that you get.
Okay.
So there's value on both sides. You can't.
Oh no, this is not the devalue. I'm just putting it.
When you say the provider is the prize, that suggests that that's the only thing that has value.
No. Definitely not. But yeah, okay.
But I do think that when a woman is by herself, even if it's not, I would say this, it may not even be financial, right? It's not even always financial, because I'm married now. And when I first got married this time, I don't have children anymore. So I'm not, and I was financially fine, but I still feel a comfort with knowing that somebody has my back, and I'm not just out here by myself, out here, and somebody is there. That's yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's it.
So let me ask you this. Do you think men feel a sense of security when they have a woman at home that has their back?
When they have one, yeah. When they have one,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. With both sides, because you could be
when
be by yourself.
When he has it, but I also know if a man falls, he gets nervous. It's going to be put to the test. I think a lot of things. I mean, if we're there living in it and he's the provider, we know he's going to provide. It's not tested. It's only tested when he can't provide anymore. And that's when he gets to see you. The woman gets to experience that. She wouldn't even mess with him if he wasn't provider. He don't find out until he can't, or he drops. So he doesn't find out until later on down the line, if that's ever a case. But a woman, she signs up for what's in front of her and she sees it. He signs up for what he might, he think he can see, but inevitably, with the thing that can happen at the end, he doesn't know until it could happen. And a lot of dudes find out that the hard way and find out it wasn't what he thought it was.
Well, I would say the other side to that is true. I do know men that say, and even my husband has said it when he was between jobs, like, was concerned, not because he thought I would do something, but because he feels like that's what he's supposed to do. But in the same token, I think women feel like that the older they get. if they gain weight. You don't know if a man is going to love you unconditionally, or is he zoned in on what you look like at the time. I have a girlfriend that her husband was no longer sexually attracted to her after they had children.
Gotcha. I've heard that's a real thing.
Yeah, so I'm saying I think that is equal to, if you lose your job, she may not be there. If you gain 10, 15, 20 pounds, he may not look at you the same. So and both of those situations are wrong to me. If you get married and you don't love your wife because she gains weight or she gets older, or her hair turns white or whatever, then that's crazy on your part. And if you are with a man and he loses his job and he's down for a moment and you leave him, that's bad on your part. However,
I don't think, if I'm with a woman and I love her and she happens to whatever, I'm there because I love her.
If she happens to blue,
I'm there because
wait, because I think there's a point. Say she gets up to 350 pounds. I picked that number because I saw a woman on social media that got on this scale, and the scale went to 350. But she goes to 350, right? Say she goes through some depression and she goes to 350, and she has tripled your weight, right? Now, and say she sits there. 1 year goes by and you're just sitting, you got to go to the company gala that you go to every year. She wants to get dressed, put on her formal gown. Are you taking her to the gala?
I am, but we got to get dressed in different rooms. That's number one.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Joking. I'm joking.
I'm not joking. And I don't think you would take her.
No. That is not true. That is not true.
I would bet money.
With that, a little weight, 50, 100.
I said 350.
No. I mean, okay. With that being said, the women that I date are so conscious of.
That is a cop out.
Hold on, not a little weight, because trust me, I've dated women be like, oh, I'm getting a little, I don't like you fit, and I'll be like, I like that weight on you. I've said that to people.
That's what we're talking about, Mo.
I'm gonna say a name so bad, but
that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, 3. Come on, that's not even realistic in my world.
It is, because you never know. All the superficial women that you're dating, you don't know what they may go through.
What if all the women I've dated?
Because you said, I mean, and I can admit I can be superficial, so I'm not pointing the finger at you. But for you to say the women that I date are so focused on their weight they would never do that. That means that they have a little bit of superficialness.
They would never let it get that far.
You don't know what someone would do if they go through losing a parent, going through some type of life situation. You don't know that. You know that you get somebody that's super focused on what she looks like, and you're super focused on she's a bad chick, but it doesn't mean that nothing would ever happen to her where she would not look like that.
I'm a very encouraging partner. If I saw that I knew she felt the way about herself, because they would, that I would help her. I wouldn't sit up there. First of all, I wouldn't enable her. I would help. I may help me.
What would you do when so say she's never mind. This is taking too far off the beaten path. But my point is, if a man loses his job, but 2 months goes by, 4 months goes by, 6 months, 9 months, a year, and now we're working on 1.5 years, 2 years. I do think there's a difference to somebody losing their job, but getting back up on their feet, and somebody that loses their job and just sits at home and expects you to, that's not cool. Nobody's standing. I don't think you should have to stand beside that. But if he loses his job, or he gets demoted, or his company lays him off, then you do have his back, right? Because you know that because he's an ambitious person, he's going to get it back up, which is the same way you're saying with a woman. Say she goes through something, she goes through depression, she gains 50 pounds, which can be very different, right? But she doesn't stay there. She's trying to work it off. There's this guy on social media whose wife has gained weight, and he's pushing her to lose weight. But he does it in such a beautiful way. I wish I'll have to see if I can find it and share it on Wednesday. he was like, I'm not going to let up off on you because it's not healthy for you. And I don't want you to be like this. I want you to be here with me. And has her on social media. He's pushing her, but he also says, I love my wife. I'm never going anywhere. This is the partner God sent me. But the wife is probably about 100 pounds more than him, right? Because he's very fit. But he's pushing her every day. He said, I'm keeping a journal of what my wife eats. So when she eats too much, he'll be like, why did you eat that? He's on her. He's not enabling her. I wouldn't want that situation, right? But he also is very clear that he loves his wife and he's just holding her accountable like he would any other person that he was training, right? I think that depends. He probably has that personality in other ways, but I respect that because he's letting you know it ain't got nothing to do with y'all. That whole situation of look at me and look at her, a man that really loves his wife would never allow someone else to make his wife feel like that.
That's all I was saying, man.
Yeah. Glenn I'm not going to say it, but he is the word that KB called Edmund, because you don't let somebody talk bad about the woman that is holding you down. That's lame as hell. If anything, back in the day when when there would be men that had affairs on their wives, back in the day when cheating was still shameful, right? The only thing that will make that man cut that woman off, the side chick off, is if she threatened to go and disrespect the wife. Back in the day, people did not allow the disrespect to their wives. Now,
there you go.
Not saying that cheating is ever right, but I'm saying
cheating back then.
I'm just saying that to cheat on your wife is wrong, but to cheat on her and then to empower the other woman to feel like she got one up on your wife is bitch ass behavior.
It is. It is.
I said it. Glendale, I said it. All right. 350 pounds is insane. Well, on that show, Insanely Obese, there are some people that are physically unable of moving. I send Mo those clips all the time.
Yeah, I'm going to report you next time.
All right, let us know what you guys think. Do you think Latrice is going to tell Letitia about the new and recent text between Glendale and Amanda? I don't know. I don't even know.
I hope she does. Please tell her. Get this over with.
I don't know. I just feel like I hope that she does. I hope that she does. I just will say I hope she does. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. Let us know. Remember, this Wednesday, we will have a very special show for Dating Diaries because it's Mo's birthday. That's both of our birthdays we've had on the show. Very cool.
Scorpio season, baby. There you go. Shout out to all the Scorpios out there, by the way.
All this nasty Scorpios, please get yourselves together. Get yourselves together. No, I love Scorpios. My daughter is a Scorpio. Her birthday is coming up as well. But we're going to celebrate Mo's birthday on the 4th. And then he and I are headed to, 2 days later, we're headed to Detroit. We are excited about this. This is going to be a good time. Detroit on Friday, we are doing the premiere for Ready to Love. And then on Saturday, if you or you know someone in the Detroit area, encourage them to come out. Mo is hosting a book signing for me. I'll be there with my book. You can come out, meet us, take pictures, tell us what you think about the show. Encourage other people to come out. And then later that night, we will be on to give you guys our scoop about Ready to Love Detroit and everything that we saw and what we felt about what we saw. So make sure that you guys are tuned in Wednesday. We'll keep you guys abreast of our trip, and it's going to be good. It's going to be good. What are you doing? Are you doing anything for your birthday?
Oh,
you just with us? You're hanging out with us?
I'm hanging out with you. I'm saying a prayer. It's going to be a long, because I am working that day. It's going to be a 12-hour day of work. I'm coming here with you guys. I'm going to bring it in with y'all. And just keep it moving, man. I'm just blessed to be here. That's it.
Well, y'all make sure y'all tune in on time on Wednesday, since Mo will be, he will have a long day, a 12-hour shift, and then jump on with us. So let's make sure that we are there to support and make sure that we are locked in to support him on his birthday. So we're looking forward to that. Hang out with me on Monday because I'm doing another Married at First Sight review. Excited about that. And then we're going to do on Wednesday, we will do a rating for the men of Ready to Love Detroit. Mo gave the ladies a 7. I'm going to give them an 8.5. I think it's some really beautiful women. And that's just because I can't see their personalities. But I think there's some really beautiful women in Detroit. I don't think they're going to disappoint. I think it's going to be some mess, though. I think it's going to be some mess. It's going to be some mess. But yeah, we love you guys for watching. Let us know what you think is going to happen. Latrice, is Latrice going to come clean and share everything that she knows, or is she going to hold her cards close to her chest? And the funny thing is, ironically, I feel like Cliff would tell her not to say anything. It's none of her business. Just like I feel like Cliff lied when Latrice asked him, had he heard from Glendale, and he said no.
Yeah, it definitely like it's energy.
Yeah, he's lying all around. Lying all around. Well, we love you guys for watching. Have a great weekend.
Leave a like, please.
Leave a like. Make sure you subscribe so you can keep up with our Detroit Detroit shenanigans coming up next week. We're headed to the D. All right. We'll see you guys right back here on Monday for Grace and Gossip. All right. Have a good one.
See y'all. Have a great weekend.